Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Sex on the Table, the podcast aimed at creating a blueprint for healthy millennial relationships. I'm your host, MoAndra Johnson Intern-Sex Therapist, and helping me today is my cohort buddy, Asia McNeil Intern-Sex Therapist as well. In this episode, we're going to talk about female anatomy, gender roles, negative sex narratives, trauma, and 10 different types of orgasms every woman can have. Make sure you stay tuned for part 2, where we will discuss the best positions to achieve these different orgasms. Hey everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Sex on the Table. I'm so excited today. I'm here with Asia McNeil, and we have a special treat. In honor of International Women's Day, this one's for my ladies out there. Hey Asia.
Hi everyone.
What do you think about women gender roles?
I think women gender roles have been kind of separated, right? Like women stay in our place in terms of us caring for men, being there for men, catering to men, denying our own needs for the sake of a man's pleasure or joy or freedom, power. So I think we just deny ourselves all the time.
All the freaking time. And I mean, like, as a woman, that is so not fair, right? Because we'll talk about it later on in the podcast, but guys, like, we're out here like magical beings. We can orgasm 10 different type of ways. We don't have a refractory period, so it's just like there's no stop, you know? Mm-hmm. But I think that a lot of times we have this embedded narrative, and I'm sure it comes from like upbringing and childhood of like what we should do. So a lot of times when you were told, like as a girl, I was all the time, especially for my great grandma, sit still, act like a lady, ladies don't sit like that, or ladies don't behave like that. And really, like, what does a lady behave like, you know?
Exactly.
So I think it's just that really deep ingrained narrative of like, be in your place.
Exactly.
Spoke when talking, spoke when spoken to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Answer when, you know?
Exactly.
And nothing else.
Exactly.
But like, we're in 2020, and you know, we're just about to kick the door open and advocate for ourselves.
Exactly.
So, Asia, what do you think, like, in the bedroom let's talk about the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's what we're here for.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think women are not advocating for themselves, or like within your clinical practice, what are you finding?
I think it ranges, right? I think that I have some women or some female clients who feel assertive in the bedroom, who can tell their partner what they want, when they want it, and how they want it. Mm-hmm. But then there's also women who don't even know what they want. They haven't even explored their bodies enough to know what's pleasurable to them, to even know what pleasure is, to communicate that with their partner. Mm-hmm. So I think that we need to focus on the women who don't know what they need, right? Like, how can we uplift their voice, help them explore their own bodies so that they can then communicate that with their partner.
Okay. So shout out to all the women out there that need a lesson on advocacy, and you're tired of whack dick.
Yep.
And you know you're ready to tell him, like, this is not cutting it. Like, we can run this,
exactly,
but we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit.
Run it my way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Run it
correctly.
Period. But okay, so I know in class, just like last week, we're talking about female orgasms and sexuality and pleasure. And our teacher made like a really important point, and she said that this is not only like a heteronormative lens, but this also applies to lesbian couples or homosexual couples. Yep. So she explains to us the idea of that. Why are females not advocating for themselves, right? So first we have to think about the idea of sex. Like, what in society or in media is sex goal? The goal of sex, what is it? Mm-hmm. So the goal of sex is like orgasm or like erection, right? So if that's the case, women can't technically become erect.
True.
So sex is geared towards the male anatomy or the male role. So with that being said, it's kind of like, okay, so you have a woman who's unable to advocate for themselves. Society has told them, like, this is for the male's experience. All the narratives that you learned as you were growing up has told you, like, okay, well, be quiet and just take this experience.
Yeah.
And even the way that media is portrayed, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at how sex is portrayed in the media.
All about the man. All about
right?
them.
You get in the bed, 2 seconds, they show no foreplay, they show no nothing. The screen goes black, sometimes it don't, and somebody's yelling, and then we're done.
Exactly.
And it's just like that's not how things really should go, especially if you're trying to pleasure both parties. So it's like, where the heck did this come from? So okay, we're back to the thought. So sex is all about the erection, right? And erection is tied to the male, and so in order for an erection, you have to stroke the male's ego.
Yeah.
So if a female feels like it's her job to upkeep the sexual relationship, she feels like she has to stroke the male's ego. So you can't tell him that this is not as great as he may think it is.
Exactly.
Or as it's cut up to be.
Exactly.
Or that he was talking himself up and it's actually not that. You can't tell him that because you feel like you have to stroke his ego in order to continue upkeeping the relationship or the sexual act. We ain't doing that no more.
Nope. Out of here.
No. What'd you say?
I said out of here.
Get out of here.
Out of here.
Hashtag what I want.
Yes, what I want.
What about me?
What about? There we go, Mo. So you be coming through. What about me?
So we have this narrative, right, that we have to stroke the male's ego in order to accommodate them and get sex. But what if the sex is bad? Then what, Asia?
And I also wanted to add that I think this narrative is consistent because men tend to gaslight women, right? Like if we try to become assertive, then they want to tell us that we the crazy ones, that we're the ones who don't know what we want or what we need. So I think it's just a perpetuated narrative that men just hold on to. We always got to stroke their egos. And so we can't let this gaslighting tendencies or behaviors just interfere with our pleasure.
Yeah, it's not fair. So it's like, okay, he may be telling you like, yeah, I'm daddy, like this is amazing, like I'm about to lay it on you.
Exactly.
And then he doesn't. And then what do? We don't advocate, like we're gonna wait 7 sessions down the line before we say anything.
Yep.
So we just keep, like you said, perpetuating the idea that this situation or like this scene is okay.
Exactly.
And the scene is not, and the scene has never been okay, and we're gonna need to up the scene or you're gonna have to catch the boot.
There you go.
So I think that is the
theme.
Is the idea. That is the theme. That is how we have to come, ladies.
Exactly.
That is how we can come.
We can. Yes, Mo. See you be coming. Yes. I got hyped for a second.
But yeah. Okay. So let's talk about how trauma is embedded in this narrative.
Yeah, I think just for me and my personal experience, that the inability for me to speak my own voice and be assertive in the bedroom is because of past trauma, right? And I say this a lot to my clients that because of the trauma I've suffered, right? May that be emotional abuse or physical abuse or sexual abuse, whatever it may be, that I somewhere along that line have learned not to trust myself and betray my body, right? Like I can't trust what feels good to me, what feels right, because somewhere in my experience, it has been told to me that is unsafe or that I can't trust that emotion or that feeling or that experience. So I think trauma plays a big part in women being able to figure out what is pleasurable to them because our brain has been wired to be in this fight, flight, freeze kind of response that it's just interfering with our ability to find pleasure.
That's powerful, Asia.
Thank you.
And ladies, for people that don't know, like trauma always doesn't have to be sexual assault or rape. Trauma can be anything that you deem traumatic.
Thank you.
So don't ever, like Asia was saying, like our voice is already taken away by the trauma, so now we're more afraid to advocate for ourselves. Don't ever let somebody tell you that whatever you experienced was not trauma, because like I tell my clients and my friends and everybody else is my experience is not your experience.
Exactly.
So don't minimize my experience because you don't, resonate with it.
Yep, because it's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. And so it doesn't have to be something that somebody else may perceive as like super heavy for it to be traumatic for you.
Yep.
So the whole point of that is like that trauma in itself has taken away our voice.
Exactly. Yep. And to be aware of it.
Okay. And he also said something else very important about like trusting our bodies.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Trust your body.
Yep. And I think you had said something else too, in terms of, every woman's experience of pleasure or their orgasm may not be the same. So some women can't even identify what an orgasm feels like because they're thinking it's supposed to be this full body experience, and it just may not be. So really understanding what your body is capable of, what feels nice to your body, also plays a part in trauma, working through that, healing from it, and then exploring what is okay and what feels nice for you.
Definitely. I had a client the other day ask me, well, they said that they don't think they're orgasming because they can't feel it.
Yeah.
And that's like a extreme myth. A lot of people, and it's also based off of media and society and social media and this narrative. They're just all interconnected.
Exactly.
So, you know, in order to experience orgasm, you don't have to like yell, break the headboard. It can literally be very small. You'll be aware of it because of the relaxation afterwards. But it doesn't have to be a whole earthquaking experience in order to like have had an orgasm. Now, like back to back, multiple ones lead up and build, and they may become more intense as you have more, because ladies, we can have as many as we want.
Beautiful.
Okay, say a lot.
Beautiful.
As many as we want.
As we want.
So with all the, I guess, roles some people consider of being a female anatomy, like that's one of the perks.
Exactly.
Okay, so it kind of makes up a little bit for the childbirth stuff.
It
Just
does.
a little bit.
Very true.
Just a little bit. No breaks. We need none. Okay, you tell him get a break and come on back to
Exactly.
it.
Right? I'm ready.
But that's about you advocating for yourself.
Exactly.
So like, what if you're in and as sex therapists we call them scenes. So what if you're in a scene and you do want a round 2, you know, or you do want a round 3? You know that you're capable of it because we've just broken the myth that says that you're not. But how would you think, or how would you go about or instruct your clients of advocating for that extra round or that different type of touch or feel, whatever?
I mean, we can't have this conversation without first kind of wrapping in consent, right? That we're just going to always check in with our partner to make sure that they want to go around too. Let them know what we're feeling, right? Like, I'm ready to go. I'm already feeling stimulated. I'm already feeling aroused. So I want to go some more. Are you okay with going some more? So let's, just have that conversation with your partner and make sure that they're okay with going, that their body can physically take that. Ask them if there's anything that you can do to help them get to that point, right? So just really checking in with your partner, I think, can help advocate for yourself, but also make sure that your partner's on board.
Yeah, I like that, Asia. And, as sex therapists, I know a lot of people ask us, like, what do you do? Like, are you watching people have sex? Like, what do you do? And that question is always hilarious to me because, like, no, we're not watching people have sex. But majority of the time, sex therapy could be geared towards a lot of sexual issues or any sexual issue. But when it comes to couples or even individuals, like, I think that it's really just communication.
Yep.
And bad sex is the ultimate representation that there's a failure in communication.
Yes, say it.
There's no way that you and your partner can be talking about sex and talking about what you want, your desires, how they make you feel, and it not get better.
Exactly.
So, like, let's talk to each other.
Yeah.
Because why would you get into bed with somebody that you can't talk to them, you know?
Yep, I agree.
And even if it's a one-night stand, you're comfortable enough to have that one-night stand with that person, so you better be comfortable to tell them, like, let's move it to the left.
Exactly.
And even if you're not comfortable, you're somebody that's anxious, like, the goal is to get comfortable in order to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, and I think by you saying that, it just broadens the perspective. And what I tell all of my couples is that if you're in couples therapy or sex therapy, that you should also be in some kind of individual something.
Yes,
like, work through your own stuff first.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that really is just get whole and heal within your body so you can go out and be fruitful and pleasurable and have all the orgasms you ever wanted.
And blossom.
And blossom. There you
That's
go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, let's switch gears a little bit and get into part 2 of this segment.
Okay.
And that is going to be called, I'm going to say my radio voice, the stallion.
I love it. The stallion. Get nice and deep.
Right, the stallion. And what is the stallion method? Well, it's a name that me and Asia have came up with. And that basically talks about, so we have ladies now, and it's more so of a recent trend. I would say 2018, 2019, 2020. Females like Meg the Stallion. Shout out to the Stallion. And Cardi B. These females are like, one could say that they're perpetuating like strip culture or, but if that's what you want to do, it's your body and you can do that.
Exactly.
But more importantly, I don't think that these women are more so perpetuating this type of lifestyle. I think that they're perpetuating this stallion mindset.
Exactly.
It's like, ask for what you want, demand what you want, tell others what you want, and watch what will happen.
Exactly.
You will get that. So with that being said, we talked earlier about the 10 different type of orgasms you
Okay.
can have.
Yeah.
So me and Asia are gonna get into that. The first way is clitoral orgasms. I know you all often hear a lot of people saying that they can't come from penetration alone. That is not a myth, ladies. That is a true fact, and out there for gents too. Ladies and gentlemen, majority of women cannot come off of penetrative sex alone. With that being said, guys, this one and done insert action will not work for majority of women.
Nope.
Now, there are some women out there that can come from penetration alone. You have to do a little bit more.
Exactly.
So with clitoral orgasms, women just need some form of clitoral stimulation. So you want to talk about your favorite manual stimulation?
I sure do. So thanks to Mo, really, because she has this amazing book that describes all the types of techniques that you can use to help your partner, to help you orgasm, right? So there's this one technique in the book that we already probably do. It's just giving a name to something that we are familiar with. And I believe it's called the why not, right? And so that's where your male partner, or, we're not going to gender here. We're not going to be heterosexual normative, whomever you are engaging in a sexual activity with.
Or you can use your own hand.
Or you could use your own hand. Thank you, Mo. Yes. Right? So you're going to take your hands into a Y shape. You're going to spread open your labias. Those are your two lips on the inside of your vagina, or your vulva, I'm sorry. And then you're going to take that middle finger and you're going to just rub upwards, sideways on that clit. And you can do as much pressure as you need to get as much stimulation as you want.
Okay, so that's one way that we can have a clitoral orgasm.
There you go.
My favorite way is the SOMF.
Okay,
So
tell
on
us
my
what that
face,
is.
Okay, so we're gonna ride you into the sunset a little bit. So that's basically, when you sit on your partner's face and you get oral stimulation that way. So they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do down there while you're sitting on their face. I would suggest holding on to a bedboard or the wall, and you also want to make sure that there's a pillow underneath your partner's neck
For
or
sure.
some form of support,
Yeah.
so we don't hurt your partner.
I love that.
Okay.
I do have a quick question about that, Mo.
Yes.
In that position, because I don't do it very often, so help educate me so we can educate the listeners. Are you in control of how much pressure? Because pressure is big for me, right? Like, I don't like a lot of pressure. I need it nice and light. Do you control the pressure when you're on top getting oral stimulation that way?
With that method, the pressure is kind of from the gravity on their face. So you'll kind of like feel the intensity. Now you can bear down for like more pressure, or you can kind of like hold yourself up on that bed frame or like that bed railing for like less pressure. So they're kind of like gently touching it, but you're able to like move up or down to kind of like control that. And then the next one for clitoral orgasms that we have here is doggy style. So you said that was your second favorite, or that was one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep. It's my favorite because when you're doing it from behind or doggy style, you can stimulate your own clitoris, which preferably for most women is the best because you know what you like, right? Hopefully, if you've done all of your exploration already, you know what you like, how much pressure you need, how long you need it for. Or you can bring in a toy. You can have the toy stimulating your clit while your partner is penetrating you, or both at the same time. There's just so much variety when you're doing doggy style penetration.
And so the second way of female orgasm is vaginal or cervical orgasms. So Asia, this is like that bearing down by the strength of the contraction. So ladies, have you ever been playing with a toy or maybe in a scene, right? And you're being penetrated and you have an orgasm and everything has to cease, come out and stop.
Yep.
And it's like that pushing out. So I read a book the other day that says that the anal cavities like to suck things up.
Yeah.
So never put anything in there because it will suck it up. Whereas like the vagina likes to push things out. Well, usually with certain type of orgasms, you may not have that push out experience, but definitely with the vaginal or cervical orgasm, you're gonna receive like that bearing down and push down.
Okay.
So that's also a way for you to know like what's going on. You may not have like an intense earth-shattering moment, but like you have that bear down pressure, and then you feel like that relaxation.
Yes,
so you know what's up.
Yep, I love it.
Okay, and so the third one is the G-spot orgasm. We talk about the G-spot all the time. I remember like I don't know how old I was, but there's all these myths that you have to like debunk, right?
Exactly.
As like a kid. And how do you do that with friends or Google? Lies and lies.
Yep.
Like,
lies on lies on lies.
Right?
Yep.
But okay, so the G-spot orgasm is that like come here.
Yep.
So the G spot is a real thing. First of all, let's put that out there and kill that myth.
Yep.
The G spot is real.
Thank you,
Research
Mom.
has indicated it. And it's about 2/3 up from your middle finger on the wall of the cervix of the vagina. So once you insert and you hit that come here motion with your 2 fingers, that's all you need.
All you need.
Ladies and gents, that's it.
All you need.
So if you haven't explored your G spot, go ahead and just do that come here. You guys can't see my finger, but we're coming. So that's that. And another good one for it is the reverse cowgirl. Because the front of your vagina is stroked very firmly. And then also with all those cowgirl or female superior positions, you're able to like control the depth of penetration.
Clearly, I
so
like
that's
control.
really nice. Yeah, you get all the control. So, we're practicing advocacy. We're practicing control. And so just, take the wheels. Right
Take
on
the wheels.
into the sunset.
Yes.
The sunset.
The sunset.
Okay. And then also rare entry is very good for women that have had children. Because their nerve paths in that area are very much so alert. And then the penis can hit the right spot easily.
Nice.
So,
I like that.
there you go, guys.
Thank you for
That
that,
is
Mom.
their G-spot orgasm. The fourth one is the urethral orgasm. And the urethra just has a lot of glands that can produce pleasure. If you think of how the clitoris looks and how it's kind of like a piece down around your urethra and other things down there, then you can understand that how the urethra would cause some type of orgasm.
Exactly.
So that's that. Go ahead and explore that. The fifth one.
What was that?
Nipple orgasms.
Okay, get into it. Into it.
So typically nipple orgasms happen at the peak of stimulation. It's also the second most common amongst women.
That's new. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, Sex on the Table has a new, we'll take a moment out here. Sex on the Table has a new toy coming out. It is fork shaped and you're able to stimulate your nipples with it. Okay, so you get that with a little nice combo with another one of our toys. You get the stimulation with the suction and you're in heaven, okay?
Yes.
Another one of orgasms is a mouth orgasm. So when I learned about this one, I was like, what the heck?
Exactly,
Mouth
me too.
Orgasm? But then I just started I think I told you, Asia, I love food. So
Exactly.
I be having an orgasm with just like, some French fries from Chick-fil-A. So I understand, but it's really not in that way. So if you think of how children experience their entire universe through their mouths, even when they're first born and they can't really open their eyes, like they're looking for that nipple.
Exactly.
And that's through their mouth. So they experience that pleasure through their mouths. So if you think about it in that way, it's easiest for you to understand that, of course, like adults can experience mouth orgasms too. A lot of women report it through kissing. They may feel a sensation in their lip or a sensation that starts in their lips and then an outer body experience or like a full body experience. And then some women have also reported getting mouth orgasms while giving head. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it and see what happens.
Exploration. So if you haven't experienced a mouth orgasm, read up on it. You can send me an email about it, and we're gonna get into that.
Exactly.
Another orgasm is the anal orgasm.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. So anal play is very what's the word I'm looking for? Anal play is what oral play used to be.
Good.
So it's kind of a little taboo.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
This episode is all about exploring sexuality, and it would be remiss of me not to talk about that. So we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So your anus has 2 sphincters, right? So the first one is voluntary, and the second one is involuntary. So the first one, you're definitely gonna have to relax. Like you cannot do anal play without relaxing. And ladies and gents, please just don't think that you can just jump into anal play. Because remember what I said earlier. Your anus sucks things in. Okay? So whether you are ready for it or you're not ready for it, you're gonna get gonna get taken in.
Yep.
So you need to start with something small. We're gonna do fingers first, anal training kits that help. They have smaller portions first.
Nice.
They always need to have a flared base at the end. Or like I said, sucked up. Okay? And you always need some type of lube.
Thank you.
We need a good lube.
Yep.
We have to have it. Please do not try to start anal play without it.
Yes.
I don't want to hear the stories.
We don't need the injuries, okay?
And hospitals have stories for days on it.
No injuries.
So, in order to get a good anal play, experience an anal orgasm, first of all, you have to relax that first sphincter. And that's the voluntary one. You control that one yourself.
Yeah.
The second one is involuntary, so you're going to have to use a finger or a toy or something to manipulate that. But a little pressure and a little stimulation outside will get you to go in. Remember, you need lube when you're doing it. Please.
Nice. Good, Mo.
Please, please, please. The next orgasm is a blended orgasm.
Love it.
So,
well, the blended orgasm really is taking any of those orgasms we've described and having 2 at the same time, 3 at the same time. It's just a blend of all the ones that feel good to you, that bring you the most pleasure. The same way that Mo talked about her toys, that can help you to get a blended orgasm, right? You use that toy on your nips and you have a toy on your clit, and there you go. You have a blended orgasm. 2 spots at the same time.
Sounds like a fun time
Oh
to
my
me.
gosh,
Okay.
man.
All right, and then the other one that we have is a zone orgasm.
Okay.
So I know, like I'll say my spot is my neck, the back of my neck. Wow. Okay? And that literally can take you there. So for other people, your spot may be your neck too. I know some people are really into like ear rubbing, massaging, licking your ear, whatever it is. Basically, zone orgasm is, so you have these androgynous zones where blood rushes when you're stimulated and wow.
There you go, orgasm.
Feel good, orgasm.
Exactly.
Okay? And the last one is fantasy orgasm. So, yes, it sounds like what it is. You can have orgasm strictly off fantasy. Me and Asia was talking earlier about it, and I'm like, I don't know if my imagination is this crazy.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can get there just off of
Exactly.
like a fantasy. But then, Asia, you talked about like dreaming, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I had one like this morning, probably, right? That I woke up feeling good because I thought about having sex with some man. God forbid, I don't remember who he was. But it's just when you wake up feeling pleasured, relaxed, released. So I definitely have them in my dreams, for sure.
And I don't know, I've had dreams too where I'm like having sex in the dream or like, I don't know, there's like throbbing going on.
Yes, thank you, Mo.
You wake up and you're like, whoa, pump the brakes, just woke up.
Thank you.
So a dream is equivalent to a fantasy. So yes, that could be a fantasy, a fantasy orgasm. Or even just like daydreaming, you know, you're imagining Mr. Whoever walking in.
Yep.
And
I think
just take it there in your mind.
If I were to share a small story, I think I was in like the 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
Having fantasy orgasms in school.
Wow.
Like in the middle of class. That's how I knew that this line of work was for me, because something wasn't right from early on. And I'm not bringing no shame, but just knowing that I was aware of pleasure, sex, and what felt good to my body from an early age. So I think that, it started early for me, for sure.
I mean, typically, so in class we learn, right, that everyone is a sexual being.
Yeah. Thank you,
that
Freud.
may sound crazy as hell. But when you think about it, even babies, they're not doing anything sexual, but they experience, like I said earlier, they're experiencing pleasure through their mouth.
Yeah.
So there's definitely those chemicals that are released. I want to say oxytocin from breastfeeding.
It might be. I'm not sure, but you might be right.
I want to say oxytocin from breastfeeding, and that oxytocin is released to the mom. It's kind of like, you know, the love drug. She's feeling it. She's like, oh my God, I love my baby. The baby's also getting like little love hearts too.
Exactly.
So if you think about that, and like kids that you may find at age 2 or 3, they may be exploring their genitals, or like, you know, kids that are older than that doing other things. Everybody is a sexual being.
Exactly.
It's just that, are we going to shame them, or do we teach them consent and, you know, proper things around that?
Yep.
But that's for another episode.
Oh, yes, it is. The whole episode on that.
For another episode.
Yep.
Okay, so how do we discover what we need? How do we do that? That's a loaded question.
That is a loaded question, but I think it just kind of, to simplify it, I think we just kind of go back to what we talked about, right? Like, it just takes individual work. Okay. Sit with yourself. If you need to even look at your body in the mirror, right? How much time do you spend looking at your vulva, your vagina, to see what it looks like? How long are your labias? Just really getting in touch with what your body looks like, and then just explore your body through touch. What feels nice, what doesn't feel so nice. I think, Mo, you mentioned some ABCs that I had no idea what that was.
Let me tell you guys about it. Okay, so if you are somebody that may not be into oral sex, or you love oral sex, but you have a partner that is not particularly good at it, one thing to do, or one tip or trick out of Mo's book, is to have them do the ABC, spell it out with their tongue.
Love it.
We're going to trace the A, we're going to trace the B,
Love
we're going to
it.
trace the C. Oh my God, D is where it's at.
There you
We're
go.
going to stick on
Simple.
D all night. You stay right there.
Yes.
We might have another scene and we'll try T.
Yes.
But tonight we're going to stick on D because that's me right there.
Yep.
And I've even had like clients and friends who have said like, that is a good trick.
Yeah.
So start with that. Even if, your partner may not be the best at oral sex, or even if you use that with your finger and you're doing self-exploration, you have a mirror and you're tracing like A, B, C, whatever, you can tell yourself what you like. And that's a way to, expand your sexuality and learn yourself.
Exactly. And then you use your voice, advocate for yourself, and tell your partner what you found that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but
man.
it's like, if you take away anything from this episode, communication is key. You don't come into a sex therapist's office with your partner and we don't communicate.
Exactly.
So that's the first step to intervention.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lay it on the table. We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're going to do this on this podcast.
Exactly.
We're talking about it all.
Yep.
And I think that with a lot of things, communication is the key for it.
It is. And I think when we talk about communication, some people get kind of confused by it, but I think it's just being more vulnerable.
Transparent.
Yes, transparent with your partner, right? Like there's no secrets, there are no lies, there's nothing hidden. Just be vulnerable and transparent.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So by you not wanting to hurt because we talked about that male stroking and the definition of sex and the whole idea of sex. So by you not wanting to hurt your partner's feelings, you stay in the zone of lame sex.
Yep.
Let that haunt you. Let my voice haunt you when you are thinking about not hurting his feelings.
Exactly.
Okay? It matters about his feelings, but when it comes to you guys having better sex, who doesn't want better sex,
Exactly.
So you can't, not for you to say like, babe, like this is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you could have done a little bit better.
Exactly.
But I want to talk about what you liked last time, or did you like the things I tried, or even them asking you like, what didn't you like about it, or what would you like to try next time? Like, if you think about it, every scene that you go into should be better because you guys have a conversation with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of times, like one of the interventions we use as sex therapists is to like give them homework.
Oh
and
yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the homework. And so when we give them that homework and they come back, I don't know about you, but a lot of my clients will have like sky opening moments. We're like, oh, you did that by yourself?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Because you had a conversation with yourself. You were able to process what was going on internally for you. And you come back and we talk about it.
Exactly. Just happened on Friday. Yep.
You see, it happens all the time.
time.
You're like, wow, I never... Yeah, that's what happens when you do homework.
It
I don't
is.
know about in the actual world of school, but if you think about that in scenes and sex with a partner, you guys are in the moment together, and your homework would be to talk about it at the end. It doesn't even have to be that same night. I don't know if you're worried about sometimes killing the mood, but sometimes, this could be the mood.
Exactly.
And so why not let's just talk about it?
Exactly.
Do you have any tips, anything from your clinical practice, anything that you think is very important to share with our listeners about the stallion mindset, advocacy, empowering sexuality?
Dang, that's
Give us
a
your
hard
best,
question.
sis.
Oh, give me the best. That put me on the spot. Oh gosh. I mean, really, I'm just coming from my own lens, right? Because that's a lot of what therapy is, coming from your own lens, your own perspective.
With a little bit of education in there.
Listen, this is what this podcast is all about. I think it's really just like going through your own shit. I know I keep saying it, but I'm a big advocate of doing self-healing so that then you can then therefore advocate for yourself, be assertive in what you need. You can't know what you need until you discover what you need, right? So you got to go through that healing process to even find out how you can advocate for yourself. Just seek some individual therapy, talk to a friend, talk to someone who supports you to kind of work through whatever shame you may be having about your body or about sex or about gender roles, so that you can then therefore have more pleasurable experiences with whatever partner you're engaging with, is my take home point.
Asia, thank you so much for being on here with us. We usually end the podcast in a few ways. So today we're going to do a charged question.
Okay, goddamn.
And ladies that are able to advocate for themselves and ladies that are not able to advocate for themselves, we are going to charge you to think about what could you be saying to make your experience better? What are you not saying to make your experience better?
Self-reflection.
And then after that, hopefully this podcast episode pushes you to have a conversation about that. because now you're thinking about it, so you're conscious of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason that in 2020 we are not going to advocate on that thing.
Exactly.
So step one, think about what you're not saying in the bedroom, and then say it.
Mo.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Asia.
Thanks for having me. It's been wonderful.
This was fun.
This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Have me again.
Definitely, she's coming back, you guys. Talking about something way more serious.
Serious, right? Yep. Get into it.
In the next episode, we're going to continue to create a blueprint for healthy millennial relationships. Thank you for listening to us, and make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram @_sex on the table.